muscular archery adventures, series testing, successful hunting. In addition to a lot of different broadhead testing, I also love to do bow testing. And I especially love this time of year, December 2021, when the 2022 Flagship Bows are all coming out. And I'm here at my favorite bow shop in central Iowa. It's Archery Field and Sports. And man, I just can't say enough about this shop, about the selection that they have, about the range. They have this indoor 40-yard range with 3D targets, and they've got great leagues, but they especially have incredible know-how. They've been in business for, 3.5 decades, and so they figured something out. And I love coming to the shop, and I love testing these bows at the shop. So what I'm going to be doing today is testing one bow, one flagship bow, from each of 4 different top manufacturers. Now, I'm not testing all the flagship bows because they've not all come in yet, and I'm not testing all the different manufacturers because they either haven't come in yet or this shop doesn't carry them. But I am going to be testing the Hoyt Ventum Pro 30, and I'm going to be testing the Mathews V3X 29, and the Bowtech CP28, and then the Elite Envision. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom on in on each of the bows and go through some of the design features and the specifications. Then I'm going to do just kind of a basic test of the draw and the shot. And then I'm going to test them for speed with 2 different weight arrows, a 438 grain arrow as well as a 385 grain arrow. And then I'm going to be doing a sound test, okay? And the sound test, it's not in a soundproof chamber, okay? But there is consistent ambient noise, and so it'll give you a good comparative analysis of the different sound of each of those bows shot with the 438 grain arrow. And then I'm going to rank them in some of the main categories that people like to consider when they're purchasing a bow. And then I'm going to give you my favorite, okay, my bow battle winner of these 4 bows for 2022. So here's the Hoyt Ventum Pro 30. They also make a 33, but I'm just going to be testing the 30 here today. Its specs are an IBO of 342. It's got an axle to axle of 30 inches. Brace height is 6 inches, and the draw length can go in use one of two modules to go 25 to 28 inches or 28.5 to 30 inches. And the draw weight, 40, 50, 60, 55 to 65, and 70 and 80. The overall weight as listed is 4.5 pounds, 4.5 pounds. It is very similar to the Ventum last year. Okay, let's go through some of the features of it. You've got the HBX Pro cam that they say is the smoothest, quietest cam that they've ever had. You've got 2 different shock pod locations here on each of the limbs, as well as right here. You've got those shock absorbers. You've got an inline Picatinny sight rail mount. You don't have to use that, but if you want to and you have a sight that matches it, then you can do that, and it keeps the weight of that sight more centered than having that lateral bracket, that lateral weight of a bracket on one side. You've got the integrate rest mount system right there, and they have this new grip, the Vital Point grip, which is said to have a new grip angle designed to decrease the negative impact of the palm of the hand. It's kind of interesting there. They got their shortstop stabilizer that has a really low center of gravity as it's mounted down so low, and because it's mounted so low to the riser like this, it already sticks out very far, so you just need a shorter stabilizer. You can get away with a shorter stabilizer. And then they have their SL sidebar stabilizer mount as well. Comes in 10 different colors. Now, the look and the feel, I've always liked the look of Hoyts personally, okay? I shot Hoyts for many years, and I like the look of it. They have a nice finish. I like the feel of it. I really like this grip, okay? It's got a very rubbery, tacky finish to it, and it does feel good. It feels like right on the thumb pad is just going to be pretty easy to center there. So let's draw it back and see how it does. Ooh. Okay, that's got a very smooth draw. That was surprisingly smooth. I didn't feel any hump in that at all. Pretty good back wall, solid. The letdown, it doesn't jump away, but you also don't have to push it. It's kind of like, just seems like what you would expect in a letdown, but certainly not jumpy there. Yeah, very smooth draw. Nice hold. And I do like that grip. It does feel like it's got a good center point to that thumb pad. Let's see the shot. Ooh, that's very dead in hand. And this is, you know, very limited in what it has on it. Of course, it does have the stabilizer there, but it's pretty limited. And even with that, it has very little hand shock and a really nice shot to it. Impressive. Here's the Mathews V3X 29. So this is pretty cool looking bow right here. This is a 29. They also come out with a 33, but I'm just going to be testing the 29 today. Mathews describes the V3X as its most streamlined hunting system they've ever created. And I'll explain about that when I go through the features here in just a second. But first of all, the specs. Its IBO speed is 340 feet per second. Axle to axle is 29 inches. The brace height is 6 inches. The draw length is 25.5 to 30 inches. The draw weight is 60, 65, 70, or 75. So it's in 5-pound increments like that. The list weight of the bare bow, and usually that's measured without all of the dampeners and stuff, but is 4.47 pounds. And the let off is either 80 or 85%. Now, some of the features about it is it's got what they call their cross-centric cam. Okay, it's got a really big cam right there. And then it's got the switch weight mods that allow you to adjust the draw weight or the draw length without too much difficulty. Now, what's interesting in the overall design is it's got the longest riser to axle length of any bow that they've ever had for extra stabilization. So if you just look at it there, I mean, you can see how so much of the axle to axle is actually the riser. It's really impressive like that. And again, that just makes for a greater stabilization. So even though it's just 29 inches, you're maximizing that 29 inches, so you're getting the stability of a longer bow. They've got the integrate mount system that they're continuing to use there for a rest. And they've also got this bridge lock sight system. And this is where you can use a dovetail mount of several different popular sights. Okay, they list which ones. There's like 3 or 4 companies make them, that you just slide the dovetail in there and it eliminates the need for a side bracket. So again, the weight is just like focused more in the center of the riser than off to the side, and you cut out that weight that was needed for that extra bracket there. And then it's also got this new Low Pro fixed and detachable quiver system. And when you use the integrate rest mount and you use that bridge lock sight system, then using their quiver allows the quiver to be super close to the riser. I mean, it's like right there, I mean, just about touching the riser, which just makes for a very compact shooting, and I mean less torque, less weight, you know, that's pulling the bow in an opposite direction there. They have their Nano 7 dampeners right there, and they've got the Silent Connect system, which is really kind of cool. That, you know, that's what they mean by, like, Streamline was that new technology, okay, with the mount and with the sight and with the quiver, but then they also integrate these other features just for their bows, that they have this special mount here, and you can get this sling that works like a shoulder sling that connects to it, or also their tow rope, their bow tow rope, so you're up in a tree and you can just connect it directly and lift it on up there. That's kind of nice that they have that integration and, you know, the kind of specialized designs for their stuff. And then they also have this new stay afield cable, and it's a system that, you know, it's a short little cable like this fluorescent orange cable that weighs, I mean, like 0.5 ounces or something like that. It's really light, and it connects down here at the bottom, and what it does is it allows the bow to be pulled, and then you have that cable in there, and so the strings and the cables are relaxed, and you can work on them in the field. You can replace the strings and cables in the field with just that emergency little stay-afield connect system that they have. It comes in 8 different colors. And then the grip, is again, it's their Mathews grip that they've been using. It's similar to the Hoyt, and it's this rubberized, tack kind of a feel, puts a good grip on it like that. So overall feelings of the bow, it feels really nice, okay? I kind of like every bow, okay, unless it's like really terrible, but it feels really nice. I mean, it's short, but it feels longer in that sense. The grip, I prefer some of the other grips to this one, but it's not a bad grip. Let's check out the draw and the shot. Okay, that's a nice draw. Let me scoot the camera there. It's a nice draw. It gets a little stiff toward the end. I mean, you feel it a little bit more than some of the others, but not bad at all. Nice back wall. Let's see the letdown. Okay, it's a little jumpier than, say, the Hoyt Ventum Pro, but not bad. It doesn't just like pull away from you, but you do have to apply back pressure. Yeah, a little stiff right there toward the end. Let's see the shot. Man, really dead in hand, okay? That seems to be kind of a theme this year. That's just super dead in hand, very little hand shock, even with limited things on the bow. When you add more weight to it, that's just gonna go away completely, but that's really impressive. Here's the Bowtech CP28. This is their super short axle-to-axle bow, which they describe as just shorter, deadlier, kind of like myself, okay? And the IBO of this, 335 axle to axle, is just 28 inches, okay, really short, but it has a generous brace height, 6 3/4 inches of brace height. The draw length is adjustable from 24.5 to 30 inches. The draw weight in 10-pound increments, 50, 60, and 70, and the list weight, 4.4 pounds. Again, that's like with everything stripped down, that's what they listed at. So some of the features about it, they've continued with their deadlock technology, which I think was a real game changer a few years ago when that came out. It's got the deadlock cams that allow you to fine tune your bow with just an Allen wrench at home. I mean, rather than using shims or worrying about all other ways to do it, man, you can move that cam to the side just in micro increments, and then you lock it in and it's set. That's really nice. They've got the deadlock limb pockets as well, and they've got this deadlock cable containment with this flexible bar there that helps reduce torque. So I like that they're continuing to do that. I think that, again, was a real game changer. They continue to have their clutch grip, which at first, when I first was shooting, trying a Bowtech, I didn't like it. I didn't like that narrow grip. I now really like it, okay? I can just, I can fit it really well to my hand. So they continue with that. And the clutch grip has 2 different angles that you can use, 2 different styles, and each of them come in 4 different colors, if you like to kind of mix and match like that. Okay, they've got the orbit dampeners that they've continued with, and this has 2, okay? And you can put them on either side based on the weight and based on the amount of sound suppression you want. You can add more to it. They're surprisingly heavy. Like if you take it off, if you really want to shave weight, you can take it off. So they do make a difference weight-wise, but they also are effective at reducing the vibration. They've got their power shift to allow you to customize your draw cycle in the cams there. They continue with their flip module to set the bow cam either on performance or comfort. And I typically use the comfort setting unless I'm going after something really big, like in Africa with the Bowtechs that I've used. because it adds about 10 feet per second to the performance, but you feel it, okay? So comfort, I usually just kind of stay there, but it's nice, I think, in one bow that with a simple adjustment, you can make about a 9-10 feet per second difference like that. They've got a totally redesigned riser with this, and I don't know how familiar you are with Bowtechs, but you can tell it's just very different. Even when you look at it from the back a little bit, you can see it from the front. They've got just so much more width right here, and continue to have a really wide limb pocket there as well. So this time they've also, with this specific model, not all their bows this year, I think this is the only one, they have the integrated mounting system for the rest. You can mount it right there so it's dead centered. It doesn't get in the way of other things. That's kind of nice. And then the size of the cam as it pulls over allows it to kind of have the string angle more of like a 30-inch axle-to-axle bow rather than a 28-inch. Now, for a short guy like me, it doesn't really matter. I don't care about the string angle, but if you have a really long draw length, then that string angle can be problematic with shorter bows, but they've helped remediate that a bit, or mitigate that a bit, by having this longer cam, that adds a little bit of extra inches to it, making the string angle a little bit more forgiving and conducive. Okay, in finish, they always have great finishes here. I think they come in 9 different colors, okay, all the Bowtechs. All right, let's see how it does. Okay, that's got a pretty stout pull right at the end there. I mean, it hits a boom on the performance. I haven't shot it yet on the comfort. I wonder how that's going to be on the comfort. But on the performance, you definitely feel it. It's I wouldn't say it's not smooth. I mean, it's still smooth, but it does have that hump at the end. Really nice back wall. Holds really nicely. Yeah, okay, you gotta kind of push a little bit and then it goes. So if you're at full draw for a long time and you let down just a little bit, it's not gonna run away from you. But once you start to let go, you gotta get ready, okay? Once you start to let down, it pulls. Let's see the shot. Very dead in hand. Yeah, that's been a theme of many of the bows this year. The Hoyt, the Mathews, and then this, very dead in hand in the shot, even with nothing added to it. Okay, that's really impressive. I'd say feel-wise, like, I really like the feel of this, okay? Of all the bows that I've shot so far, it's probably just because I'm short and I like short bows, but it really does feel well balanced and feels good in my hand. I don't super like these holes in the grip, okay? I suppose that, you know, anybody would get used to it. My fingers can even fit in there to hold it like that. It does save weight, and I'm sure you can get something to put in there if you don't like it. I'm not a big fan of that, but everything else, man, I really like about this bow. I'm eager to see how it does on the comfort draw as well and compare the speeds. But overall, really like this one too. Here's the Elite Envision. This is got an IBO of 334, axle to axle of 31 inches. The brace height is a generous 6.875 inches, so almost 7 inches of brace height, which is going to really aid in accuracy, forgiveness. The draw length goes from 23.5 to 30.5 inches. The draw weight, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 75. And the weight is 4.45 pounds. The let-off is 70 to 90%. Some of the features about this is, first of all, they consider it a target-inspired design, like a target bow-inspired design, but adapted to a hunting rig, so you get the best of both worlds. They utilize their set technology for precision tuning, and they've got their tri-track cam system, which has a larger profile for both better string angle as well as easier target acquisition and aim and anchor, as they put it. They have a precision grip on here, which has like a narrower throat and a little bit wider base right there to fit well in your hand and to be repeatable. It does feel like a decent grip. And then they've got vibration technology, strewn throughout it there. You can see the different dampeners that they have. It's got, they say, super rock solid back wall. They've got their Versa Performance module that allows you to adjust the draw length in 1/4 inch increments. So you can really fine tune that draw length specifically for your needs, and that's kind of nice. Their Elites are known for their finishes, and they really do have a very nice finish to them. At least, all the ones that I've seen, and this one is no different. 13 different colors it comes in. Okay, let's check it out. Well, that's nice. Very smooth. It's not super easy, but certainly not difficult, and it's very smooth. I mean, there's just no hump there. It's a really nice back wall. See the letdown. Okay, yeah, that's one of those where you got to kind of push it a little bit. So it's definitely not jumpy. It almost kind of doesn't want to go, which is a good thing. You can hold at full draw for a while, and if you have to let it down, it's not just going to be jumping away, or while you're at full draw and you kind of like relax a little bit, it's not going to jump away on you. Yeah, really smooth. Let's see the shot. Okay, it's a good shot, and I know this is just a bare bow, but that has a bit of hand shock to it. Now, again, it's a bare bow. Compared to the other ones that I've shot so far, I'd say that's the most hand shock to it. It's not bad by any stretch. I'd put it like in the normal category, but it's not dead in hand. But overall, very nice. I mean, I like the feel, I like the look, I like some of the adjustability of it and the 1/4 inch increments there. I like the wider limb pockets that they have. All these things just designed to help with accuracy. The longer brace height is really appealing as well, while still generating an IBO of 334. Okay, nice. Mathews 283. 269. Bowtech 283. 265. Elite 271. 255. Let's go with the Hoyt. 278. 262. Mathews 91.5. Bowtech 86.7. Elite Envision 86.5. Hoyt Ventum 30 89.2. For speed, the fastest was the Bowtech CP28 on the performance setting, and that was followed really closely by the Mathews V3X 29. And actually, with one of the arrow weights, they were the same at 385 grains, which was really interesting. At the other arrow weight, the 438 grain arrow, the Mathews was a little bit faster, but it did add a bit longer draw length. Okay, so at the same draw length, it was a little bit slower than the CP28. And then third was the Hoyt Ventum Pro 30. And then fourth, actually, if you count it this way, was the Bowtech CP28 on the comfort setting. And then last was the Elite Envision. So it was interesting to see the Bowtech CP28 on comfort actually faster than the Elite Envision. Okay, next, if I rank the sound, the quietest was the Elite Envision. And then just coming in at 0.2 decibels greater than that was the CP28, and that was on the performance setting, the faster setting. And then was the Hoyt Ventum Pro 30, and then was the Mathews V3X 29. And then another category that I ranked them in was the special features. Like with the new innovations or the continued innovations that they've had in recent years, which ones really had the best features? And this is pretty subjective, but to me, by far, was the Bowtech CP28. That deadlock technology is just in a class by itself when it comes to tuning a bow and locking in that tune. And then with the comfort and performance flipping of that mod, the flip mod, that's just so nice to be able to do that. And some people say, well, you can just lower the poundage and do the same thing. Yeah, well, you can lower the poundage on each of these different performance or comfort settings as well to get an even greater spread. So it's really kind of nice to have that. And I think that's a continued great benefit of the Bowtech. And then the integrate rest is really nice that they did that this year. And then the overall feel with that 28-inch axle to axle, it just feels fantastic. And again, that's subjective because I'm such a short guy. Okay, I'm 5'8", and it just feels really great in my hand. The second in terms of the special features was the Mathews, the V3X 29. Man, that sleekness that they have with all the different Mathews specific components with their integrate rest and their sight and their quiver, and then the field cable to replace a bow press, and then the bow tow rope, and then the bow sling. Okay, that's really nice that you have all those features. And the next was the Hoyt, and I really like the grip on the Hoyt and the overall feel of the Hoyt. And then the Picatinny sight rail is kind of nice if you want to get more of a centered weight to your sight and get a sight that can be used with that. That's kind of a nice extra feature. And then finally was the Elite Envision, and I'd say the thing that I really liked about that was the finish. It just has a really nice finish, and Elite is known for the great finishes. So that's the ranking in those special features category. And then for the overall winner, it really surprised me. Okay, I didn't expect this one to be the winner, but this again is a combination of the objective tests as well as the subjective tests. For me and my frame and my hunting purposes and so forth. And all of them I really liked. I liked all of them more than I thought I would like them. But number 4 came in as the Elite Envision. And then number 3 was the Mathews V3X 29. And then number 2 was the Hoyt Ventum Pro 30. I really like that. That was a close second. And then number 1 was the Bowtech CP28. I definitely did not expect that bow to come in as high as it did. But man, the speed is equal to my old SR6, and yet in such a short, compact frame, which fits me really well, and really sleek design. Doesn't have those long posts that come out of the cam like the SR6. So that was really a winner to me.